What's up, guys? Back for another MLB video here. Yesterday's not a bad day. The Diamondbacks really frustrated me. That team's bullpen is absolute trash. But yesterday's in the past. We're moving on. Today is a new day. So don't forget to drop your MLB picks in the comments. Let me know who you guys are playing today. But let's just get right into it. We're gonna go over some games. Look, there's potential for rain in like 4 or 5 of these games. Cleveland, PNC Park, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. We could see some rain in lots of these places. Chicago Cubs game could potentially have some rain in that spot. So make sure you check your weather reports closer to game time. Make sure no games are getting rained out. Even St. Louis could potentially see some rain, so maybe some of these games are delayed. I don't know. It's not looking the greatest as far as the weather report, but it is early morning, so Tuesday morning here. So this could change as the day goes on, so just be mindful of that. And also, I like to check lineups before I make official bets. Like I mentioned on my Twitter yesterday, lineups are very important when betting on baseball because when key guys sit, it can change the way the whole thing moves. So lineups are very important before betting on baseball. So with the Red Sox game, without Rafael Devers or Tyler O'Neill, that makes a big difference for the Red Sox. Those are two main guys for that team, right? So they're maybe could be back today, maybe not. So it just depends on that. So some of these games I won't go over just because there's a lot of uncertainty, and I don't want to give you guys kind of information that's not going to work. So let's just get into it. I've wasted enough time already. So let's go. Let's get into the first game. All right, we're going to Great American Ballpark first, where the Phillies take on the Reds. I mentioned yesterday how bad the Reds are versus left-handed pitching, and they were bad. They got shut out. They didn't really get anything going. They had, I think, like three total bases. They just couldn't really do anything, and they face another lefty in Christopher Sanchez today. On the other side, there's a lefty going, Andrew Abbott, for the Reds. When you look at their last 3 to 5 games, the Phillies versus left-handed pitching are hitting 344, whereas the Reds are hitting 162. That's a big difference. The Phillies are, getting the home runs. On base percentage is really good, putting up lots of runs where the Reds just aren't. So that kind of concerns me here. Again, back-to-back lefties in a team that can strike out lots versus lefties. Christopher Sanchez had 10 strikeouts his last outing in 6 innings pitched. He had 6 the one before that. So his last 2 starts, he's pretty heavily on the strikeouts. He's given up 1 earned run in back-to-back starts. So he's been actually fairly solid. He's still kind of getting going here. He's had a couple starts that weren't the greatest, but Andrew Abbott on the other side, his strikeout numbers are all right, not the greatest, and he can be susceptible to giving up home runs to a Phillies team that can mash and can hit lefties good. Andrew Abbott gave up 2 home runs his last outing to a pretty bad Seattle team. So in this one, if this game goes, I think I just got to go with the Phillies again. After a 7-0 victory, the Phillies are on fire. The Reds are facing another lefty. At the Reds at a very small plus price is just not worth it to me, in my opinion, in this game. So I got to take the Phillies in this situation. I just don't like the Reds versus a lefty. I really don't. So if this game doesn't get rained out, I got to take the Phillies on the money line. All right, next game we're going to look at is going to Nationals Park, where the Nationals host the Dodgers. These teams did just meet last week, and the Nationals won 2 of 3, being heavy underdogs in all those. So if you're betting on the Nationals, you're cleaning up. So far this year, the Nationals have been a good team to bet on. They're about a 50-50 team so far this season, but they're big underdogs in most games. We cashed with the Nationals on Sunday. This game, though, Patrick Corbin, the lefty, and James Paxton going. I don't love Patrick Corbin at all. He's probably lost the most games to the Dodgers of any team that he's ever faced. So he just struggles versus Dodgers team. The Dodgers did get the win last time against Corbin. They won 6-2. The Dodgers offense kind of concerned me a little bit, but I think after that 10-0 victory versus the Mets on Sunday and now being rested, they come into this game. I think they have the upper hand here a little bit. They do hit lefties right now at 269 average, whereas the Nationals are hitting at about 160 versus left-handed pitching. So that's a huge difference. The Nationals bullpen is better than the Dodgers bullpen. But the thing, and then James Paxton can give up lots of walks. Like his last outing, he only had 1 strikeout. He had 8 walks. He gave up a home run in 5 innings. He had 3 earned runs given up in a loss to the Padres. That's pretty concerning. If you have a guy with a heavy walk rate, he's putting batters on, and then a guy like CJ Abrams comes up for this Nationals team, he can hit a 3-run shot, no problem. Like CJ Abrams is the biggest threat on this Nationals team. He's hitting 333 with 2 home runs versus left-handed pitching so far this season. So other than that, Lane Thomas has a not bad average, 321 with 1 home run versus lefties. But other than that, all their guys are pretty much not good in a sense. Will Smith on the other side for the Dodgers has good numbers, 500 average and 22 at-bats, 6 RBIs. Kike Hernandez is, baseline, just a little bit better versus lefties than he is versus righties. Teoscar Hernandez, 269 average with 2 home runs and 7 RBIs. Pages, the rookie, 400 average so far. Chris Taylor has bad numbers. Gavin Lux has bad numbers. James Outman has bad numbers. Max Muncy, not the greatest numbers. So there's some guys that struggle versus lefties on this Dodgers team too. So I just don't love Patrick Corbin. Like, I would love to take the Nationals in this spot. I just don't know if I can get there. I do not trust Patrick Corbin a lot. So I think this game, the Dodgers are a get right revenge angle. We're seeing 10-mile-an-hour winds and 70-degree temperatures, 10-mile-an-hour winds blowing out kind of straight to left center. So this one, I could see the Dodgers getting up early. The first 5 innings, I could see them having the lead. So the first 5 innings run line, so first 5 minus a half run, could be potentially a good bet. I just want to see these lineups first, but I think the Dodgers can cover the run line in this one against Patrick Corbin. I think, the Dodgers got to get their offense going. They've been a pretty disappointing team, to say the least, as far as their pitching goes. Their offense hasn't been the greatest, but it is still pretty potent. It's their pitching that I don't like. So if Paxton can be somewhat solid through the first 5 innings and not give up a ton of walks and put, get runs, if he can get out of jams, I think the Dodgers lead this game in the first 5. So I would add the first 5 minus 0.5. So that should be about the same odds as the Dodgers run line. So either one of these two, I think it's very square. I know it's a super square play, but I think as long as all the main guys are in the lineup for the Dodgers, I just don't love Patrick Corbin and this Nationals team struggling to hit lefties. So in a reluctant move, I'm going to take the Dodgers. I think their lead after the first 5 innings, I could see them winning, first inning money line at plus 170. I could see them getting a run in the first inning to Patrick Corbin, potentially maybe even like a early home run or something. But for the full game, I just have to take the Dodgers at minus 1.5. And this one, as squared as it is, I just can't get to the Nationals in this matchup. I think there's going to be a few in this series that we're going to be able to get to the Nationals, though, just not with Patrick Corbin, I don't think. So give me the Dodgers in this. All right, next we're going to Wrigley Field, where the Cubs host the Astros. The Astros have still only won 7 of 23 games this season, where the Cubs have won 13-9. They just split that last series, winning 2 out of 4 games versus the Marlins. One of those was a doubleheader series, but over the last 10 games, when you look at these teams head-to-head, they're pretty evenly matched. Astros have won 6 of the last 10 meetings. We've seen 7-3 to the over. Astros are sending JP France to the mound. Look, I don't really love this pitcher at all. I don't like his control issues. He can give up the home run ball. He can potentially be heavier on the fly ball pitching and stuff, like letting balls hang. His strikeout numbers are not the greatest. He's given up 3 home runs, 5 walks, with 7 strikeouts in his last 9 innings and 10 earned runs in those last 9 innings. He's gotten a loss in all 4 starts this season. I mean, he's faced some, potent lineups, the Yankees, the Rangers again, and the Braves. So obviously that's a huge difference, but this Cubs lineup is still pretty dangerous too. On the other side, you got the lefty going, Jordan Wicks. He gave up a home run in his last start to the Dbacks, but he did get the win. He had 5 strikeouts in 4 1/3 innings. The thing with Jordan Wicks is he has yet to go 5 innings in any of his starts. So he's not he's probably not going to get too deep into this game unless he's absolutely dazzling. I don't see him pitching more than 5 innings. Usually he gets at least 80 pitches by the fourth and fifth inning. So that is a little bit concerning too. But his strikeout numbers aren't bad. He's had over 1 strikeout per inning. So five strikeouts, 6 strikeouts, 7 strikeouts, 6 strikeouts. So he's had at least 5 strikeouts in 4 innings in every game, 5 or more strikeouts. The Astros versus lefties recently, they are playing and hitting better versus left-handed pitching, batting about 300 average versus lefties. Cubs are batting 223 versus righties. This one's kind of tough. I mean, the Astros are just not a good team, in my opinion, and they're the favorite at most places here. I don't love that. When you look at like previous history, Christopher Morel has a home run in 2 at-bats versus him. Dansby Swanson has seen him a couple times, but other than that, not really a lot. As far as Jordan Wicks, this will be basically the first time this team has seen him. When you look at the Astros versus left-handed pitching, Yordan Alvarez, Chas McCormick, and Kyle Tucker are kind of your main threats. Yandy Diaz is up there too as far as hitting. When you look at the Cubs versus righties, you got Michael Busch, who's got 6 home runs, batting 345 so far with 14 RBIs this season versus righties. Garrett Cooper's hitting 292 average. Morel's got 2 home runs. So some of these guys have all right numbers, but a lot of them kind of, out of half of them get worse versus righties. Cody Bellinger does have 3 home runs and 11 RBIs, but his average drops to about 183, whereas he's usually sits around 222 or 223 average for the season. So he seems to be better with lefty on lefty. But in this one, like you look at these bullpens, the Astros do still have one of the worst bullpens in the league on paper as far as these numbers go. 5.36 ERA, 1.52 WHIP. They've given up 11 home runs. The Cubs, 3.99 ERA, 1.36 WHIP. They've given up 10 home runs. In Wrigley Field, it looks like 14-ish miles an hour, 14 to 17 mile an hour winds blowing straight out to center field with potential humidity in the air. If the rain stays away, the ball could be flying in this game. The total has moved already. I liked it when it was at 9.5. It's now at 10. I don't like it as much now because we got to score 10 runs to cash it. But I still got to go with the Cubs in this one. I just think they're a little bit better team. The Astros are just not off to a great start. Some of their hitters are struggling. And until the Astros kind of right the ship, I'd rather take the Cubs as an underdog at home in Wrigley Field. The Astros typically don't go to Chicago very often. Like most of these games that they've met have been in Houston. So, and they've only won 6 of the last 10, and that's in Houston, in their home dome. So, I don't love Jordan Wicks here, and the lefty, whereas Houston's better at lefties. I also don't love JP France, so I lean to the over with the Cubs money line. I could see the Cubs winning this one, but I could see this game getting kind of out of hand. We could potentially see 12, 15 runs in this game pretty easily. I could see some home runs, so I'm gonna definitely look into potential home runs in this one. But for now, until I see the lineups, I still got to stick with the Cubs. I just can't get behind this Astros team that's had one of the worst starts since in the last 10 years to start the season. So with a lot of their batters struggling, a pitcher that I don't really like, I got the Cubs. I lean to the over. If it was at 9.5, I'd be playing it. I might buy it down, but it's not the smartest move. So just give me the Cubs in this one. All right, next game we're going to look at, we're going to Kauffman Stadium where the Royals host the Blue Jays. This is a 4-game series, I believe, so this will be game 2 of 4. Yesterday I was on the Blue Jays. I was fading Brady Singer. I liked Kikuchi. Just everything made sense in that one. And the Royals ended up coming back in that game after the Blue Jays went up 5-0. The Royals started to come on, and they ended up getting it back to 5-3, but they couldn't make the comeback. This Blue Jays bullpen still does really concern me. Still, they've given up the most home runs. They've given up 16 home runs. I think it's the most in the league still. 16. Yeah. So Tampa Bay and the Dodgers are right behind them with 15. But the Blue Jays bullpen is still giving up the most home runs, 5.16 ERA. So it kind of concerns me. This Royals bullpen can give up hits and stuff, can give up runs, but they kind of limit the home run balls. They've only given up 5 home runs this season. They're 3.48 ERA. So I do have concerns about the Royals bullpen too, but the Jays bullpen, in my opinion, is not the greatest either. So I honestly could see this one getting a little bit higher scoring than yesterday. You got Michael Walker going and Kevin Goswin. Kevin Goswin kind of bounced back in a sense in his last outing where he had 6 strikeouts versus the Yankees in 5 innings with only 1 earned run. And I was on the Yankees in that game. The Blue Jays were up 4-1, and the Yankees ended up coming back, loading the bases up. Aaron Judge hit a single, and the Yankees ended up winning that game 6-4. Again, Blue Jays bullpen was kind of taxed, and they ended up blowing it. They're not, in a sense, taxed like they were in the last one, but I still have concerns with this Blue Jays bullpen. They're starting to hit right-handed pitching better over the last few games. Their average is around 250, where the Royals have kind of been slumping a little bit, and the Blue Jays have won 9 of the last 10 meetings in this matchup. So the Royals do struggle versus the Blue Jays historically. But with me, I think I got to go with the over in this game at 8.5. I do lean to the Royals money line. This Royals team is much better this year than previous years. So while I wouldn't blame you if you took the Blue Jays based on the trends, I do want to see the lineups before I officially lock this in. But the over at 8.5, I do like. The computer model likes this as well. Actually, multiple computer models like this one. One of the models is showing about a 18% edge on this total. So it's like a strong play. The other one is showing potential 9.4 runs. So both of these computer models that I have looking at potential overs. When you look at these guys versus righties, Dalton Varsho for the Blue Jays has been the biggest threat on this team. He's been absolutely on fire. He hit another home run yesterday. He's got 5 home runs and 12 RBIs versus right-handed pitching alone this season. On the Kansas City side, Bobby Witt Jr. is dangerous. He's got 3 home runs, batting .325. Nelson Velasquez is good. There's a couple guys that his numbers are concerning, but Salvador Perez batting .328 with 5 home runs. Vinny Pasquantino batting .254 with 4 home runs. MJ Melendez has got 4 home runs, only batting .222, but he's still got 10 RBIs. So there's some all right numbers. I mean, KC is a little bit better versus lefties, but Garrett Hampson versus Kevin Gosman has 3 home runs and 15 at-bats. And Adam Frazier, 32 at-bats, batting .438. Other than that, there's not any huge numbers for KC that really sticks out versus Gosman. On the other side, Bo Bichette has a home run and batting .364 and 11 at-bats versus Michael Wacha. George Springer's batting .286 historically off him, but not a crazy number. So I think this is a pretty evenly matched game. The Royals at underdog, I don't mind. Obviously, I don't love the trend of the Blue Jays winning, 9 of the last 10 meetings. I don't love that, but trends can be broken at any time. This Royals team is pretty dangerous this year, so I think they could potentially get to Gosman here, and the Blue Jays could, do a little bit of damage on the other side. So that's why I like the over mainly. I don't mind the Royals at plus money, but I could see the Blue Jays winning this game. So give me the over in this one. As soon as I see those lineups, I'll probably be locking in the over. The weather is good here as far as hitting conditions. 70-degree temperatures. We should see a little bit of a crosswind, kind of like we did yesterday. So it probably won't be like a huge home run slugfest, but we could see some doubles hit in this game. Singles, some stolen bases. So I like the aggressiveness of some of these guys. So I could see some runs being scored in this one. As long as we see a 5-4 type game or 6-5 type game, like we can get there pretty easily. So these bullpens could give it up, even if it's 3-2 or in after 5 or 6 innings. We could still see this open up later on. So in the last 3 innings, so I wouldn't be surprised to see this game go to extra innings even too. So give me the over in this game. I think that's just the best play in my opinion right now. All right, next we're going to look at Twins and the White Sox. Look, I'm not going to take too much time in this one. You got Pablo Lopez going, Eric Fede, who did win the MVP, Korean baseball MVP last season, but that's in Korea. A little different than the majors. They play a little bit different baseball, different size fields, everything. So the Twins ended up shutting out the White Sox. The White Sox have gotten shut out so much this season. They are absolutely just not good. So I thought if the White Sox had a chance to win one yesterday, it was that game, and then they got shut out. It wasn't even close. So it's almost like auto fade. You just gotta fade this team continuously. They are just absolute dog water. So give me the Twins in the run line as much as I hate to do this. Laying odds and run and -1.5 with the home team, and you're laying juice with it. I don't see any way that the White Sox can do anything. I think Pablo Lopez can shut this White Sox team down, probably rack up some strikeouts, and we see probably another dominant performance from the Twins. This White Sox team is just on auto fade. They're pretty much team total under 2.5 is like almost an auto bet every day now because they're getting shut out so much. You could bet them under, to not score runs, so much. They're just bad. So Twins probably rolling this one again. All right, next we go to Coors Field where the Rockies host the Padres for game 2 of this set, and we do see the wind blowing in again about 10 miles an hour, same as what we did yesterday. The total was, I think, 10.5 yesterday. I said how I liked the under yesterday. I could see a low-scoring game. It was even lower scoring than I expected. It was 3-1 finish for the Padres. No Manny Machado in the lineup. He's on paternity leave or whatever it's called. So he's having a kid, or just had a kid, whatever it is. You got Michael King going, the righty, versus Ryan Feltner, the righty for the Rockies. Feltner was actually pretty solid. He had 8 strikeouts his last outing. That was versus the Phillies. They can strike out a lot, but he gave up 2 home runs. He gave up a home run in his last outing. He's gotten some run support, but he has still taken the loss in 4 to 5 starts this season, giving up home runs in 3 of those 4 games. He's had some good strikeout numbers, but Michael King, he also has been pretty dominant. He had 10 strikeouts in 7 2/3 innings. He just didn't get any run support. He did have a really concerning start versus the Dodgers. He gave up 4 home runs, and the Padres did win that game. But, that was to the Dodgers. The Rockies are a little different. The Rockies can strike out a lot. I think the Padres should be able to get this one done again. So give me the Padres money line. I wouldn't blame you if you took the -1.5. I'm seeing lots of low totals in this game. Like I'm seeing totals even around the 10s at some places. I seen 9.5 somewhere. I was like, what the heck? So really low totals for Coors Field. So that kind of tells you something too. I think the Rockies struggle again in this one. So give me the Padres money line. All right, next we're going to look at is the Angels and the Orioles in Anaheim at Angels Stadium here. Yesterday, I liked the Orioles. I thought they would win that game a little bit more comfortable than they did. It ended up only being a 4-2 win. Today, we're seeing a pretty lopsided pitching matchup. The wind blowing straight out to center field again. I like Anaheim usually for home runs and player props like that. The Angels tried to come back yesterday. They had the bases loaded, 2 outs. Mike Trout comes up to the plate and watches two balls hit paint right in the top of the strike zone, and he ends up striking out looking with the bases loaded. He could have tied the game or even won the game with the walk-off double home run, but he's been struggling when it comes to those clutch moments usually. So Grayson Rodriguez, the righty, going, and then Griffin Canning. Griffin Canning is definitely not my favorite pitcher in this Angels rotation. He can give up the home runs in bunches. We've seen it happen once already. He gave up 3 home runs versus the Red Sox. He's given up a home run versus the Red Sox again in another start. He gave up 1 home run versus Baltimore in that 13-4 Baltimore win. So look, I don't like Griffin Canning. Grayson Rodriguez on the other side, I think, is a much better pitcher. He can give up home runs too, but I just think this Orioles team is just much more dominant. Obviously, versus the righties, you still got the couple main threats. Mike Trout and Taylor Ward are the main threats versus righties. Logan O'Hoppe. For the Orioles versus righties, James McCann, Gunnar Henderson, Ryan Mountcastle, Ryan O'Hearn, Jordan Westburg, Colton Cowser, Cedric Mullins. All those guys can absolutely mash. Ryan O'Hearn has been on fire. Colton Cowser hit a home run yesterday. So Gunnar Henderson has a home run in 6 at-bats. Mountcastle has a 500 average. Santander has a decent average. McCann can hit. Rushman, all these guys can hit. Griffin Canning. On the other side, other than Taylor Ward has 1 home run versus Grayson Rodriguez in 6 at-bats. But other than that, nothing too crazy. I think the Orioles get another one here. So give me the O's money line. Pretty lopsided pitching matchup. I think we can see some home runs in this game. I'm gonna figure out who, but I might have to go back to Westberg, or maybe we go to Kauser again. There's a few guys I actually don't mind in this one for home runs, but we'll see as the day goes on, and once lineups have been confirmed and stuff. But at this point, I got to take the Orioles on the money line. All right, that's kind of all I got for you guys right now. At the time of recording this, I'm still waiting for some pitchers to be announced and stuff. So that's all I got. We're 25 minutes in. We went over some games. I like some of the favorites today. The Padres, the Braves probably get it done. So if I was going to put together a parlay, it's probably going to be a pretty chalked one. I'd probably take the Phillies, um, the Braves, potentially the over in the Blue Jays Kansas City game, the Twins. I think I would throw the Cubs in there. St. Louis Cardinals at a spite alone for the D-backs costing me money yesterday. Absolutely gutted from that. And the Cardinals do have the way better bullpen. That Arizona Diamondbacks bullpen is absolutely horrendous. The Padres I would throw in there, the Baltimore Orioles. So I mean, I could get to a parlay, maybe a plus 1,000 parlay, but stay tuned on X. That's all I got for you guys so far today. Drop your MLB picks in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Follow me on X. I usually try to post plays there once I see lineups and stuff. But yeah, don't forget to drop your MLB picks in the comments, who you guys are tailing today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.